June 11, 2023. Marcus Giavanni here. At Denver Gazette, Pena, Herod, join Johnston, Denver mayoral transition, inaugurational teams by Marcus Giavanni, blah, blah, blah. Now, when you think about how metaverse works, and you think about how HR department works, and when you think about winners and losers, think about horse racing and dog racing, okay? There's nowhere in that kind of history that any losing participant is going to endorse someone else. And so before they were able to do this before 2020. So what happens is you look at the way they've been manipulating the stories and who they are. 9 News, same people. Denver Gazette out of Colorado Springs telling us how we need to vote. 9 News, YouTube, 9 News, Marcus Giavanni, Leslie Herod. See, what they did was they tried to use the first woman by having Lisa Calderon come out and tell everybody through this other organization she makes money on, and 5013C that, the polls say we need a woman. And artificial intelligence told me, no, that is not what they need. And that by them saying that, it makes women voters look like they don't know how to make their own decision, that they're still got to rely on somebody to make them decide because it's the first woman, not merits and ability, but because they're the first woman, and not just any woman, but a minority woman. And not just any minority woman, but one that's a lesbian. This is their woman. And see, to me, that's none of my business. Can you dig that hole or not? It's all it is. With no excuse, unequivocally, a yes or no, that's artificial intelligence. So when they come out and, Leslie Herod had, let's strike up the losing scores. Let's take the takeaways, and these are all the medias that use the takeaway term to describe what they got out of something that they've already preordained, tried to manipulate the voters, and, only less than 140,000, no, maybe a little more than 140,000 voters out of 550. See, something's wrong. So when they say, oh, Mike Johnston got 54% of the vote. Yeah, 54% of 30%. That ain't very good, folks. Especially with the scores and rankings that's coming. And these are other countries that are going to do it. And so the United States is far behind in that. Because they're too busy trying to pick candidates. They're too busy trying to manipulate. They're just too busy trying to be fucked. And so when you don't do the right thing, you get indexed going to the dark web. And that's pretty much where Denver's headed. And government, not the people. Because they're still going to do what they're going to do. It doesn't matter. Because they got their jobs. The parks and recreation are always going to take care of the parks. And the appropriate departments will take care of the city, no matter how dysfunctional the government is. Those things will always be taking care of themselves, because that's the way it has to be. So all the smoke and mirrors on candidates. So you had Mayor Webb, who came out with Hickenlooper and Hancock, who were the decay mayors, indexed in 2019. And then you had Pena and Webb come out with those two candidates talking blah, blah, blah. So then Webb came out and endorsed Lisa Herod, so that she could be the first black woman and first, how she identifies herself sexually, which is something artificial intelligence. And most people, even ones that have alternative lifestyle, man, they don't push it in people's faces. They all got jobs. They all got do shit, but they don't need to tell everybody who they're having sex with, because it's none of one's any fucking business. But see, when you make it their business, that's when you start losing. And so what happened is they thought everybody was going to come out of the closet. Oh, and vote for Leslie so we can have her we already did that with Polis, and nothing really happened. See, because these things are not good in the metaverse. You cannot get by based off, because you have sex with somebody different, alternative, which is none of our business. And that's how AI feels. Can you dig that hole or not? So now let's take a look. So Webb came out and indexed Lisa. They both lost. Leslie, I'm sorry. And Lisa looked like she was gaining, but she didn't gain enough because they weren't offering anybody anything. And so the same people that are true Democrats keep voting the same thing, and where they all blew it was on February 6th. I got closure. The citizens got closure on the Spear Amendment when City Attorney Michelle Horn said, when I asked the court, Judge Luxon, courtroom 414, case number 2023 CV54, where Paul Lopez was able to squeak by and they were able to manipulate, but they don't understand. The content I wrote hasn't even hit the right people yet. Because right now you're going to go through inaugural and all, they're going to go, oh, Mike, going to get them on the news and everybody's going to talk to them and nothing is going to change. You're going to see the shootings are going to go, everything's going to happen. Mike's going to be like, you'll see. And it's sad. But this is how we know to get everybody out of the closet that are going to fuck up Denver for the last fucking time. And whoever runs for mayor next time, I am not going to run. I am not going to run as of now, because I have other things I want to do. And I kind of let the voters down when I didn't get on the, whether they believe it or not. If I would have got on that ballot, I would have been mayor, man. I guarantee it. And anybody that tried to, do their whoop-de-woo on me, I was prepared for it all. I know everything I've done in my fucking life. Just like all these people know what they've done in people's lives. And I've learned the difference between wants and needs. I realize that people want something, they call the other guy. When they need something, they call me. And then I meet people in relationships that I confuse like a need, but it's a really want. And, and then when they can't get what they want, then they destroy the need. And they tell people stories and they get them to hate you. And wow, that line goes way around the block, folks. And I don't care, because I don't let anybody try to dictate to me what goes on in my life or what I can and can't do. And I made some bad decisions in relationships, and I'm trying to teach that to my daughter right now. And it's rough. She's already lost 2 friends that died of a COVID overdose. Young guys. One's blind now. Another one. And this is these kids that didn't get a graduation. They got robbed, and we don't even think about these children. That's how you know there's a God. And when you think people like Leslie Herod and Mayor Webb, that Mayor Webb went and endorsed Kelly, that was a slap in Leslie Herrod's face like you've never seen before. I heard the chatter a mile away. People were calling and talking, and wow. He should have went for Mike Johnston. But see, they were bent on that first woman thing. But see, Leslie and Lisa decided, and all their people decided, well, it's going to be a first woman, but not a white woman. So when you think about racism, it's very deep in Denver against how they play each other against each other. And now they're all on the white man's side to further their color agenda, their lesbian agendas, and their agendas, and everything works for them and not anybody in Denver. But that's what Denver wants. And see, unfortunately, that's not what artificial intelligence needs or wants. And so all these people have been indexed. And as you go down the line and you look at these 9 News and Denver Gazette and 9 News and Next at 9 News, it's the same fucking people. So what happens is AI now goes to the perpetrators behind those stories. And see, they're FCC regulated. They can't hide. None of those hosts, everything they speak, all the things they do, you can't hide, man. And so they're not going to feel this pain until maybe 4 or 5 years from now, maybe sooner, but nah, it takes a minute to marinate, people to settle in, get all the conversations of all these people that ran for office so that they could go and tell their friends what they think of the other person, and we'll find out who the bigots are, we find out who the racists are, because all their voices are being indexed on the telephone, and they're being talked indexed, so there's really no place a voice to hide to expose anybody that doesn't do the right thing on the internet.